Welcome back, everyone. You know what time it is. Papa's comic books and coffee. All right, let's see who visited us today. Will you look at that? Marvel Comics Group, Fantastic Four, number 257, only 60 cents back in 1983. Title of this one is Fragments by John Byrne and Glynis Swang. Now, as usual, this book and others are available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. And if you would, hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment. Tell me what's wrong, tell me what's right, okay? Let's get right into this one today. Fragments. I am dying. Such a thing is nearly incomprehensible. Many times have I come under the shadow of death's dark wing, but never have my vital energy supply slipped so low. Many times in recent months have I stayed my hand and spared a world whose life energies might have replenished me. Look, you uncaring cosmos, see now this madness has driven me to seek new sources of nourishment. The long arms of my ship draw in countless thousands of cubic miles of the atmosphere of yonder gas giant. My mechanisms strive to convert the material to substances that will sustain me. Feelings I had thought long dead within me have stirred again, and the price they now exact is terrible indeed. Am I not Galactus? Am I not he whose very name is spoken only in dread, whispers throughout the farthest reaches of the unending universe? Am I not the ravager, the devourer of worlds? Yet once, 20 billion years ago, was I not also a man as mortal as any creations that crawls upon a planet's craggy face? I had thought that man was as dead as this universe which birthed him. I had prayed it might be so. But now his ghost returns, and with it comes the specter that one such as Galactus cannot dare face compassion. My tiny robot probes skim the surface of blasted cratered moons, seeking in absolute lifelessness the single spark of life energy which might grant me another day, another hour of life. How much easier it would be to seek out a world bursting with life, ripe from my plucking, and drain from it one fell swoop in the energy of my body craves. I am older than the oldest star that burns, older than the universe itself. Yet I am a child, a borning, and in this birth may come also death. But I have turned myself away from that path. The universe has proved the place more complex than even Galactus dared suspect. Perhaps the time has come. Perhaps the place of Galactus is no more in the scheme of things. Perhaps an end is at light in sight to the once unending quest to satisfy my cosmic hunger. Yet, if my end is truly near, why do I ache so? Why does my very being cry out for sustenance? So many questions, brother. You then, my hour, is struck by final rage, page in writ. I welcome you once, feared sibling. Let the end be quick. My touch is always quick, Galactus, but to gain my touch may set you on a hard and rocky road. Your time is not yet, my child. The universe is young, and you have much to do. Much to do. I have not done enough. The 20 billion years I have not seen the universe blossom forth from nothingness. Have I not seen life in all its myriad forms come to carve its fleeting mark upon the face of countless worlds, only to slip again into the unending darkness of your domain? And has it not been Galactus who was there at the last to hurry you along the path which all fear to tread? I have been your slave and servant for all this time. What more is there to do? Your newfound conscience clouds your reason. You are no slave, Galactus. Least of all to me, you are my husband and father, my brother and son. Were we not born at the same moment? Are we not two corners of the great triangle, which is the universe? You and I are as old as creation, sibling, yet we are both children, mere babes, not yet to know maturity until that distant time when the cosmos shall achieve its final end. And the nature of the end is set and written, Galactus. You and I are but the shepherds who guide it to the proper purpose, or more precisely, it is tangled garden you and I must ever weed. Perhaps because of your past mortality, certain things are not yours to know, and mayhap never will be, but no doubt or fail or purpose, husband. Yours is quite possibly the most important role. Do not shirk it, lest the universe fail at the last. Gone, gone again, as so many times before, and once more, Galactus alone, alone, as in no other creature in all the cosmos. Well, very well, death, my sister, daughter, mother, and my wife, the stain of doubt must be wiped away, and I must begin again. No more to debate the correctness of that which I do. Such terms have little meaning now. The die is cast. Let the great game commence again. Nova. The single word is no more than a whisper against the eternal song of the cosmos, but it flashes across the light years with the speed of thought. And Nova is here, master. How are you? Never fear, master. I have found a world well suited to your needs, the scroll-throned world. Failing fast, my faithful of my heralds. We must act quickly. Another inhabited planet. Is it all to begin again? So suddenly the decision is made, and not a second lapse ere I must act upon it. Something's happened. He's been visited again. I can sense a departed presence like the cold breath out of an ancient tomb. Who? What? I have the distinct feeling I am just on the edge of something perhaps other than human mind has ever known. Very well, my herald, lead on. She flashes from the heart of the great starship, and strange thoughts perplex the woman thing who once called herself Frankie Ray. So much has happened in the new months since I left Earth to become the herald of Galactus. My mortal senses have been expanded beyond comprehension. That's how I know there's something big going on, and Galactus has been strangely indecisive of late, as he's lost his sense of purpose. Is this the same being of whom so many worlds live constant fear? What of my feelings? It's sheer insanity to have considered feeling the way I do, but I can't help it. Galactus is like no man I've ever known. Now, there's a brilliant observation. Galactus is like no man, period. I know my liberated sisters back on Earth would have kittens, but I find him absolutely irresistible. His power has almost omniscient aloofness. Do I dare put the word to it? I am in love with Galactus. A strange thought, to be sure, and passing quickly, for now, as the barest concentration warps time and space, and Nova blinks through hyperspace to emerge, that other scroll ship I encountered must have signaled the throne world in the middle of a scroll armada. Aboard the ships of fleet, the usually lumber scrolls have awkwardly in their cumbersome space armor, and fear sits heavily on every shoulder. Ready, weapons officers, stand by to fire. At your order, Commander. The word is never spoken. Nova's flame intensifies to the power of her namesake, and the first scroll ship perishes without ever knowing battle. The fools, do they really think they stand a chance against the herald of Galactus? Indeed, what follows can scarce be called a battle. Resist though they may, the mighty scroll fleet is hopelessly outmatched by the single flaming female, so that nothing but a drifting field of tangled debris, vacuum-bloated corpses, greets the arrival of the star-spanning sphere, and a scant million miles away. Idiots, dolts, why did they not activate the cloaking effect? We did Majesty serve no end. It was as if the herald knew we were there. Moron, our galaxy has successfully hidden its energies from Galactus for uncounted millennia. You say we fail now? He speaks true of my Empress. We cloaked the entire galaxy in an energy dampening field, but the herald flew on as if she had star charts marking our position. Mother, the whole palace is in an uproar. What is happening? Anel, daughter, I had hoped you were yet in bed. Better that you should sleep peacefully through the end of the world. What? What do you mean? Have the accursed Kree launched an attack on our defenses screen breached? Far worse than that, daughter. The Kree we would sweep from our skies like the gnats they are, but they are is one menace. Even the might of the Skrull Empire must fear. No, you cannot mean. I do. Look down, look to the street below. See how even the carrier Nimbus billows. You can hide from him no more. Galactus has come. Our fate is sealed. Yet, even in the darkest hour, some Skrulls do not give up. Not yet. With a whine like 10 billion angry wasps, a squadron of fighters leaps into the air, their armament bristling. Enough destructive force to lay waste to the entire city blast against Galactus wave after thundering wave. But if he is even aware of the assault on the demagogues, gives no sign of gesture. In fact, in the midst of conflagration, he seems almost at peace. He seems to do nothing, yet the works of the Skrulls peel back beneath his feet like the skin of some ripe fruit. Almost instantly, the ground below boils into a molten lava, and Galactus sinks uncaring into the searing cauldron. Any Skrull close enough to glimpse his face before Galactus sinks from sight might well be at loss to comprehend his beatific expression. The enigmatic face will be the last any Skrull of the world will see of Galactus. The next moment, the surface of the entire throne world tears into a part, and the furies of the inner world are set free. The palace, the city, they're shattering. We have to do something, Mother. We have to get to the spaceport. A ship. Every usable ship in the quadrant was in the Armada. The Herald destroyed there. There's nothing we can do, Enel. Nothing save to die. Then the end comes. There is little pain. It happens too quickly. But for the planet itself, death is a long and arduous thing indeed. Its death heroes last many hours, the unleashed energies marching across the cracked and ravaged face in great swirling walls of power. Ignorant of gravity, the fragments of the dying world arc and dance across the blood-red sky. A giant all-consuming sphere of plasma ripples outwards from what was once the planetary core. By day's end, there is little left which might truly be called the planet. The Skrull throne world is no more, but the process of its death is not ended, not yet. Every scrap of matter funnels through the white hole that yawns at the center of the destruction. Life itself is not consumed, though it is most undeniably destroyed. Only the high mystic energy is taken, drained away. Molecules are cracked, siphoned, and discarded from the fiber of the planet and extracted, which is the life force. The whole process takes some 28 hours as we measure time. Only when the awesome maelstrom has claimed does the huge star sphere draw near the dead remnants of the planet. And gently, as a mother tends her babe in arms, mechanical limbs extrude and draw in the floating figure that is Galactus. Sleep now, Master. Let the energies flow through you and make you strong again. Sleep, you ever dreamless sleep, and Nova shall watch over you. She has witnessed this day, the annihilation of the planetary civilization older than human history, yet she feels nothing but her growing love for the demagogue. Her life on Earth is simply, it seems, is finally forgotten. But those who briefly shared that life have not entirely forgotten her. Case in point, Jonathan Spencer Storm, a.k.a. the Human Torch, youngest member of the Fantastic Four. 2 million light years from the shattered Skrull throne world that blazes across the mid-morning sky of Manhattan. Though his thoughts are not solely on the form of Frankie Ray this fine spring day. Rather, they concern her erstwhile roommate. There's Julie, right? where I asked her to meet me, Didn't expect her to bring her new roomie with her. You gotta say one thing for the boy, Jules. He knows how to make an entrance. Hi, Johnny. I hope you don't mind Sharon tagging along. Not at all. Hey, Sharon. Nice to see you again. He says that as if hadn't seen each other months, instead of just since last week. Hey, yourself, Johnny. What's with the threads? Well, they're not exactly new. Come on, ladies. I've got an important appointment, and I could use a couple of gorgeous gals for company. And I'll also tell you how may custom change the colors story guaranteed to curl your hair. Too late in D'Angelo's case. A few minutes pleasant stroll later. So while we were spending almost 4 months in the negative zone, only about 4 hours passed here in our reality. Luckily, that gave us the advantage. We needed to defeat the Annihilus and get home. And the process we used to get back had a weird, supposedly harmless effect on the unstable molecules in our costumes, and the colors sort of reversed. Far out. Well, I think you should keep the new uniforms. They look real classy. But in your nephew Franklin was so badly ratcheted around, shouldn't you be at the hospital? I spent the last 2 days there keeping watch with Reed and Sue, but the doctors say his condition is stable, and I made this appointment a month ago, Earth time. Hey, Johnny, over here. Norm, Tobin. What are you doing here? Don't tell me you've got those little fingers of yours in real estate, too. What do you think I make all living as a drama student? I dabble in a lot of stuff. The service elevator is way in this back. That's a relief. Them's an awful lot of stairs. You're really thinking about getting your own bachelor's pad, Jays? Sure, I make enough bucks as one fourth of a Fantastic Four Incorporated, and I decided it was time to cut the old apron strings and see how I make out on my own. Johnny mentioned it in class, so Captain Businessman jumped in with both feet, huh? Well, this is it. Johnny, this is absolutely fabulous. I love it. Well, it looks like it needs an awful lot of work, Julie, but the skylight has definitive attraction for someone in my line of work. Then we got a deal. Great. There's a dandy fat food place down the block. We can sign the papers there. Well, I guess congratulations are in order, huh? This is a big step for you, Johnny. Don't I know it, but having my apartment in a Baxter building did tend to, cramp my style. Uh-oh. I better warn the other tenants there'll be some wild superhero parties coming up. Hey, sport, if you're going to dress up like one of the Fantastic Four, you should try harder to get the colors right. You folks need more time, or are you ready to order? Just a Coke for me. I'm allergic to dairy products. Well, I think the rest of us will have the shenanananas. 3 banana splits and a Coke. Okay, got it. Oh, miss, just for future reference, I did get the colors right. Meanwhile, across town at the Mercy General Hospital, your son is going to be fine, Reed. The danger is past. No, Doc. Tor Grim. The danger is not over. It is far from over. Franklin is a mutant, possessed of great powers, but for the past several weeks, those powers have been dampened, closed down, and without them, he is a normal child with normal vulnerabilities. As the recent battle with Annihilus has more than adequately demonstrated, the Baxter building is no longer a safe place for him. Therefore, I have decided on a course of action. Sue and I will take on our son and leave the Baxter building, leave New York. We will find a small town, somewhere where we'll hopefully not be recognized. We will not adopt false identities, do everything possible to create an atmosphere of normalcy for Franklin, in short. You don't have to finish Stretcho. I've heard this song before. This means the end of the Fantastic Four. No, Ben, no, I almost wish it did, but the alternative is forever denied us. We have tried before to go separate ways, but the circumstances have always necessitated our rejoining. We will not act out this pointless charade time. Yeah, man. Mean. Yes, old friend, it will not be easy, but Sue and I will try being both parents to our son and continuing as the Invisible Girl and Mr. Fantastic. Then we don't have to break up? Not this time, Ben. Not this time. Ben. Thing. Be careful. We may be in a hospital, but we don't wish to stay here. Don't be such a stick in the mud, Reed. It's time for celebrating. Look out, world. The Fantastic Four are still in business. Still, you might wish to control your enthusiasm, Ben. It's early yet, but I still don't think Susan should be so roughly handled. In her condition, huh? Uncle Jake, are you saying? Yes, Ben. Sue asked Jake to give her an examination earlier, and the tests were positive that our rabbit died. Ben, looks like you're going to be an uncle again. It's a long book. So, you see, Ben, this awful business with Franklin is not our only reason for our decision to move. The newborn would be even more vulnerable to any of our many enemies. Yeah, you're right, pal. Well, you scamps looks like more than just scientific exploration was gonna on while we was the negative zone. Ben, and now, Dr. Grimm, we might see our son? Of course, Reed. Franklin's asleep just now, but you can sit with him until he wakes. What is a child? To even the most living and devoted of parents, a child is never-ending task of constant stream of needs and wants and petty annoyances. He is the spilled paint that forever mars the rug, the sudden fever that cancels a long-planned holiday. He cuts and scrapes and broken toys and his pain and anger and sometimes and something else. A child is the bond that strengthens the holes in family firm and fast. He is the tears and the joys and the life of the growth. What is a child? For his parents, he is love. 2 days later. Well, I'm off house hunting, Reed. I've turned up a prospect in Connecticut. My goodness, Sue, I almost didn't recognize you in that wig. It's quite a transformation. Better get used to it, Hubbins. If we're going to have secret identities, you'll be seeing a lot of it. Indeed, this could be most curious venture. I put lasagna in for dinner. Just turn on the oven at 3 o'clock. I'll try to be back, but then I promised Wanda I'd stop by Avengers Mansion to look in on Vision. All right, be careful, my darling. Don't worry, sweetheart. What could happen there? A chill touches Susan Storm Richards at her husband's parting words, but it is largely forgotten as 20 minutes later, her section of Fabulous Fantastic Four skims over the Atlantic coast. What beautiful countryside this looks like ideal already. Discreetly, her cosmic ray altered cells warp the surroundings, light and craft and pilot laid on scene. Minutes later, there's the house. How, homie. Looks as if I found us the place we're looking for right off the bat. What good luck. As she enters the spacious front porch, unbidden phantoms dance through Susan's mind. It's strange to think we're really going to do it this time. We tried to find a house once before, just after Franklin was born. That church was a complete failure. But I have a good feeling about this house, and as if I'm truly coming home at last. I hope it will all work out this time. Thus, with so prosaic sound of ringing of the doorbell, does a chapter end for the Fantastic Four. Whatever happens now, things will never be the same. Meanwhile, it's 10 o'clock, Professor Richards. Time to leave for your Avengers mansion. Oh, yes, thank you, Hubert. Within moments, a second Fantastic Car segment rises from the backs of the building tower complex. And in many ways, today's the keen intellect of Reed Richards echoes the thoughts of his wife. So many adventures have revolved around that building. Our first encounter with Doctor Doom and Galactus, with so many foes and friends. It's odd to think we'll soon leave the Baxter building. It seems almost a lifetime since we moved in, yet it's been such a short span of time, really. It will still be our base of operations, of course, but never again will we call it home. With that mixture of nostalgia and anticipation, the man called Mr. Fantastic brings his unique vehicle down towards Avengers Mansion. My instruments show their security scanners have already identified and cleared me for landing. Good morning, Reed. I'm so glad you could make it today. Always happy to help, Wanda. How is your husband faring? Not good. This is not good, that is. There's been no further degeneration of his condition, but he doesn't seem to be improving either. Curious, the Vision's biosynthetic systems are, of course, unlike any other on Earth, but I was certain he'd be on the mend by now. The Vision was inexplicably felled by a null field Avenger. It looks as if this is going to take longer than we thought, Reed. Would you care for some tea? Oh, yes, thank you, Wanda. It does seem the vision's condition is more complex than I had anticipated. The Scarlet Witch holds back a tear and leaves Reed Richards to his work. Moving quickly to the rest and recreation of a chamber at the same level, Wanda sets herself to the pleasantly pedestrian task of making tea, but the thoughts which fill her solitude are far from mundane. It's all so sad, so mad. It's as if the fates are combining to shatter my hard-won security. Look what's happened to me. In only a few short weeks, I've seen my dear brother go with the Inhumans and their new home in the moon's blue area. I've learned that Magneto is my true father. Magneto, once the greatest of all earthly villains. He claims to have reformed, but how can one of his past record be trusted? Now my beloved husband lies in near death as an unliving can. Oh, the intruder alert. The mansion has been breached. All other thoughts are banished. The Scarlet Witch who races through the corridors is now a complete battle-primed Avenger. It's coming from the medical section. Reed! But Mr. Fantastic's gone, and the smoldering blast hole in the far wall seems to laugh at her. Nothing on disappearing of Reed Richards? Not one thing about Sue's house hunting? No further developments from the Thing? Not so much of a glimpse of the Human Torch? Don't miss the strangest Fantastic Four issue ever. Next, interlude. And that was Fantastic Four, number 257 from 1983, called Fragments. What is Galactus up to? Well, once again, this book is available on my eBay page, papas-comic-books. Hit that subscribe button if you please. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. And as I always say,
that was easy.
Until next time, Papa is out.